Okay, well, apparently I cannot find my my pen loom, so I'm going to make another one. So this is 6 foot long. I just cut it, and I've got the holes marked, and I am simply going to just drill the holes. I will get the dowel rods later. I don't have any right now, and we'll deal with those in another portion of this video. Right now I'm just going to drill these holes, and then I think we'll be done for the night, at least on this project. It looks like I'm probably going to have to drill a little bit smaller hole first. Unfortunately, this one is all jacked up, so I can't just straight up drill these holes because it is dull. But I'll be able to drill these smaller ones, and then I'll be able to enlarge it. Alright, so we have this portion of it done. So basically I have 6 foot long stick with holes equally distanced placed in there. Now, although I am not going to use these really small dowels because they are just too small, I'm going to demonstrate what's going to happen here. So what I have here is these equally spaced holes, and each is going to contain a dowel rod, basically like this, right? They're going to be bigger, of course, and they're each going to have a hole drilled just above where they're sitting in. And what's going to happen is I'm going to run cordage through each one of these dowels, and I will weave in and out what I'm going to use. Now, I also like to use plastic bags, so I'll be doing that as well. And when I lift them up, I'll lift them up and pull the package, the yarn or whatever, down that cord, and it will create a blanket or whatever I decide to make with it. Now, I do have a video, or I should have several videos, on Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft somewhere in there on using this this type of weaving method, which I enjoy. I honestly think it's my favorite kind of weaving. So what I'm going to do is get the dowel rods. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow. Find out exactly what size of dowel I need, and then I can start weaving this Just Chanel Premier Just Chanel into a blanket of some sort, maybe. I decided I would just keep it at 6 feet long. It's a little long. I don't necessarily have to do it that long, but I figure if I get something at least arm length, from arm to arm, stretched out like that, just however long I make it, it should be decent. But hopefully tomorrow I can find out exactly what dowel rod I need, and maybe we can get a handful of dowels and I can start this project a lot sooner than I was considering. So anyway, here's the beginning of it. Again, I've got one of these looms somewhere, but right now I can't find it, so I just decided I would make another one. So here we go. Just evenly spaced holes, stick dowel rods in there, and we will end up weaving. We'll start out with a blanket of some sort. Alright, so we're going to continue with this Peg Loom, and I'll show you what we got. Alright, so I've got the holes drilled, and they're 5/8 inch holes, and right now all I have is a 1/2 inch dowel rods, and I cut them, I think it's like 6 inches tall. I went ahead and wrapped them with a piece of a pipe cleaner just because it helps them stay in there. And each one of them has a hole drilled through it that is just above where it's at here, so so that I can run some cordage through it. Alright, so I have the loom set up, and we'll take a look at it here real quick. So each peg goes in, there we go. Each peg goes into one of these holes, and each peg has a hole drilled in it just at the top of where it sits in there. And there's some cordage that's doubled that runs down and it goes off the table. So what we're going to do is, that's all the setup that you need to do. And we are going to weave that very, very soft yarn into hopefully what turns out to be something nice. So we'll see what we got. Here is the one of the 65 yard pieces of yarn, and let's see here, where do we find an edge here? Well, there will be one here eventually somewhere. There it is. Alright. Bingo bango. So all we're going to do is we're going to start, I think, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, there, 3, 4, 5, there. So we'll weave it in between there, and we'll leave a little tail, and then from here we're just going to start weaving, and it just goes in and out, in and out. And that's all it is, in and out of the. And once we get to the last one, the last peg, let's move this down just a tad bit, give it a little bit of a tug. We don't want it super tight, but I do want to have a little, there we go. And then we weave it back. And we get down here, let's go ahead and give it a little bit of a tap down. And we just keep weaving. That's all this is. Constant, repetitive, and easy. We continue to weave in between these pegs. And every once in a while, we'll push it down a tad bit, give it a little tug. And we'll continue to weave in and out. We get down at the end, we get a little tug, and we'll tap it down just like so, and we'll go back, weaving it in and out of these pegs. Get down to the bottom, we'll give it a little pull just to kind of give it a little bit of tightness, and we'll tap it down, and we'll just continue to do this until we get this entire spool of yarn done. Get down to the end, give it a little tug with a tap, and then we go back. Again with a tug and a tap. And we'll just keep going, and I'll get back with you when this gets closer to being done. Alright, so we're pretty close to having the first sets of pins. We'll call it right there. So what we're going to do is, once we get this here, all I'm going to do is lift the pins out. Pull the cordage. There we go. We'll set the pin back in. Pull this out. And we'll just continue to do that for each set. Like so. There we go. And that will just sit there. And we will continue with the weaving process as is. Get to the second batch that's tall enough to where it reaches pretty close to the top, we will do the exact same thing and just remove it from the pins and pull it down. And when we get to that point, I'll get back with you. But as you see, it's just simply weaving in and out of these pegs. We'll see how much we get out of each strain of yarn that we got here, and we can kind of guesstimate what we're going to get out of the 6 once we get this first one done. So when I get ready to take it off of the pegs again, I will get back with you, and also we will check how much we have when we have the first strand of yarn done. So we'll kind of get an estimate of how much we're going to get out of each one of these strands. And this is how much one spool of this 65 yards will go right here. So it does 2. We get 2 about up to here, and then a handful from there. And now all we're going to do is just simply take the next one find the end of it. There we go. Simply make a small knot here so that it binds together, and we'll just continue on with the weaving process, and we'll consider that we get this much out of it. I'll say, yeah, we get about that much out of it, out of each one, and that will kind of give us an idea. Hopefully tomorrow I will be able to go back to the Dollar Tree and see if they've got more of this, and maybe buy a few more, just so that I can get a decent sized something out of this. What I'm thinking that I might end up doing, because I seriously doubt whether I'm going to be able to make an entire decent blanket out of this. What I plan on doing is maybe making something similar to a pillow of some sort. At least make a case, something that I can wrap up and make a small pillow, so that when I'm out in the field I can lay my head on it. And we'll see. I don't know. Now, if I get the ability, I would like to get enough of this to where I can actually make myself a decent blanket. I think this would make a fantastically nice blanket, but I'm not sure whether or not I would be able to afford the amount of yarn it would take to create something that could even be a half a blanket, let alone a full one. But we'll see. So again, this is just repetition. It's very relaxing. I love doing weaving, and this Peg Loom has become my favorite version of weaving. Now I still enjoy hand weaving, but as far as a loom is concerned, this has definitely become my favorite way of doing it. So we will just continue on with this. Like I said, I purchased 6 of these, and I'm guessing that that won't be enough to make anything significant, but we'll see when I get it done. And like I said, hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to, before I go to the dojo, be able to stop off at the Dollar Tree, and if fate is with me, I will be able to purchase a few more of strands of this and be able to continue on. Now there we go. So let's just get to here and pull this off. We'll go ahead and do that before I turn the camera off. So they get pulled through. Like so. very nice. I truly enjoy the softness of this material. Let me go ahead and get this first one or two down, just so that everything is good to go. And honestly, for me, it's kind of difficult to stop doing. Once I get going, it's just so relaxing and calming, and I just enjoy it so much. I just don't want to stop doing it. But we'll continue working on this until, like I said, I get the 6 strands that I purchased originally done, and hopefully there will be some more at the Dollar Tree tomorrow, and hopefully I'm able to stop and maybe get a couple more. I have a few dollars, and I would definitely be willing to spend them on a few more strands of this particular yarn, and hopefully be able to make this actually into a decent sized actual blanket. But we'll see.